There are moments in history when prophecy stops being ancient words on a page and starts breathing through the headlines of our time. When the symbols of Daniel begin to look eerily familiar, when diplomacy replaces the sword, and when peace itself becomes a strategy, you can feel that something far greater is unfolding behind the scenes. The world is moving faster than ever, nations aligning, leaders rising, technology reshaping truth, and yet an old question echoes from the depths of time. Are we witnessing what was written long ago? Tonight, we are not just revisiting the book of Daniel, we are stepping inside it. We will explore visions that once terrified kings and challenged prophets, now unfolding in the language of our modern age. From mysterious covenants to the rise of a new global order, from the brilliance of human innovation to the danger of deception cloaked as enlightenment, this journey will take you deep into the prophecy that defined the future thousands of years before it arrived. This is not a tale of fear, it's a revelation of awareness, a call to open your eyes to what lies beneath the surface of power and progress. By the end of this speech, you may see the world and your place in it through an entirely different lens. So stay with me until the last word, because what you're about to hear might change how you understand not just prophecy, but the very time you're living in right now. In the book of Daniel, one of the most profound and mysterious texts of the Hebrew Scriptures, the prophet describes a sequence of dreams and visions that reveal the rise and fall of empires and ultimately the emergence of a final world power led by a remarkable and enigmatic figure. Daniel's prophecy is often seen as a divine timeline, mapping human civilization from Babylon to a yet unrealized global order. Within these visions, Daniel encounters the image of a great statue made of different metals, each representing successive kingdoms, and later the vision of four beasts rising from the sea, symbols of human governments driven by ambition and dominion. Yet beyond the imagery of empire, the prophecy narrows to a single ruler, a figure of great intellect and cunning who would arise in the final age of human history. This leader would not conquer through force alone, but through strategy, diplomacy, and persuasion, gaining authority over nations and securing peace through calculated negotiation. The text portrays him as one who understands dark sentences, meaning he possesses insight into hidden knowledge, the ability to interpret, manipulate, and shape the world through understanding what others cannot. He becomes a master of systems, political, economic, and spiritual, and brings about a unity that feels divinely ordained but hides deeper intentions. Daniel's vision transcends time, reflecting the tension between divine will and human ambition. It reveals that such a figure's rise would signal not only political change but a spiritual test for humanity, challenging people to discern truth amid brilliance, peace amid manipulation, and prophecy amid deception. The first keynote, therefore, embodies the eternal warning that prophecy and power often walk hand in hand, and that what appears as salvation may in truth be the beginning of revelation. The vision of Daniel not only foretells the rise of individual rulers, but also hints at the formation of an entirely new global order, a structure unlike the ancient empires that came before. This new order is described as iron mixed with clay, strong yet divided, powerful yet unstable, suggesting a coalition of nations bound not by conquest, but by shared interests, technology, and ideology. It represents a time when humanity would reach a level of interconnection never seen before, when power would be measured not by armies, but by influence, economy, and control of information. The prophecy implies that this emerging system would appear to offer peace and prosperity to all, uniting diverse peoples under a single set of agreements and values. Yet beneath the surface, it carries the seed of spiritual compromise, for unity achieved without truth can easily become control disguised as harmony. Daniel's words about a kingdom partly strong and partly broken capture the paradox of our own age, a world woven together through globalization, digital communication, and political alliances, yet fractured by division and moral decay. Many interpreters see in this vision the rise of a universal framework where politics, commerce, and religion merge into one governing order. This system, Daniel suggests, will not be imposed by force, but welcomed as progress, its influence spreading quietly through promises of peace, prosperity, and security. However, this unity will test humanity's discernment, for while it seems to fulfill the ancient hope of global harmony, it may instead prepare the way for the ultimate deception. The second keynote therefore reveals that Daniel's prophecy reaches beyond the fall of ancient empires to the dawn of an age where mankind builds its own Tower of Babel once more, this time not of stone but of global power and illusion. Daniel's prophecy speaks of a mysterious figure described as one who understands dark sentences, a phrase that implies profound wisdom, strategic intelligence, and mastery of secrets beyond ordinary human reach. This figure is not portrayed as a mere conqueror, but as an architect in the shadows, one who shapes events from behind the scenes with precision and insight. His strength lies not in armies or weapons, but in his ability to influence minds, interpret complex systems, and weave alliances that others cannot fully perceive. He reads the language of power as if it were scripture, deciphering the motives of nations and individuals alike. The phrase suggests a person who operates in the realm of intellect and strategy, capable of using both light and darkness to achieve his aims. Daniel's vision shows that such a figure rises during a time of confusion and transformation, when people seek clarity and leadership amid uncertainty. His rise appears almost divine, as though he were destined to bring order out of chaos, and many will see him as the solution to the world's turmoil. Yet beneath this brilliance lies the danger of manipulation, for the same knowledge that enlightens can also ensnare. The architect in the shadows does not seize power through open conflict, but through subtle influence, aligning global systems, economies, and ideologies to his design. He embodies the fusion of intellect and ambition, a symbol of how wisdom without humility can become domination cloaked in enlightenment. The prophecy portrays this figure as both a marvel and a warning, revealing how the greatest threat to truth may not come from the sword, but from the mind that learns to wield truth as a weapon. His emergence marks an age where persuasion becomes might, and control is exercised through the mastery of understanding itself. In the prophecy of Daniel, there is a pivotal moment where a leader is said to confirm a covenant with many for 1 week, a phrase that has echoed through centuries of interpretation. This covenant, often viewed as a great peace accord, represents not just a treaty among nations, but a symbolic alignment of powers, beliefs, and destinies. It speaks of a time when the world, weary of conflict and division, yearns for unity and stability, and one figure arises who seems capable of delivering it. This leader does not impose peace through conquest, but through negotiation and persuasion, bringing together political, religious, and economic forces in an unprecedented alliance. The covenant signifies a binding agreement that promises security and cooperation, yet beneath its surface lies the possibility of betrayal. Daniel's vision warns that this peace is temporary, for it is built not upon truth, but upon convenience, crafted to serve a greater, hidden purpose. The mention of the temple within this context deepens the prophecy's spiritual dimension, hinting at a renewed religious awakening or even the restoration of sacred institutions as symbols of divine approval. But the prophet foresees that this apparent harmony will be shattered, revealing the fragility of human-made order. The covenant becomes a test of faith and perception, for while the world celebrates the dawn of a new age of peace, those who understand prophecy recognize the deception intertwined within it. The vision reflects humanity's recurring pattern of seeking salvation through systems rather than spirit, mistaking diplomacy for deliverance. It portrays an age when sacred and secular power merge under the promise of lasting stability. Yet Daniel's words remind that any peace not founded in truth will ultimately collapse, exposing the deeper struggle between divine purpose and human ambition hidden beneath the illusion of unity. Daniel's prophecy hints that the rise of this figure and the fulfillment of these events would coincide with an era when knowledge shall increase and many shall run to and fro, suggesting a time of immense technological and intellectual advancement. This phrase has often been seen as a description of the modern world, an age defined by speed, information, and the collapse of distance. Humanity has reached a point where communication is instantaneous, decisions cross continents in seconds, and knowledge multiplies beyond comprehension. In such an environment, influence is no longer confined to borders or battlefields. It operates through data, media, and global networks. This prophetic connection implies that the mechanisms of control and persuasion would evolve with technology, allowing a leader to shape perception and reality through innovation rather than warfare. Peace itself would become a strategic tool, achieved not through swords but through systems, diplomatic frameworks, digital agreements, and economic interdependence. Daniel's vision can be read as a warning that the same advancements which promise liberation can also enable unprecedented control. The merging of human intellect with machine precision has created an environment where truth can be engineered and belief can be guided by unseen algorithms. The prophecies language resonates deeply in this context, describing a time when wisdom and deceit intertwine, and those who hold the keys to knowledge hold the power to define peace. The confirmation of a covenant in such an age might not be a simple treaty, but an entire digital and ideological structure binding nations together. Daniel foresaw that this expansion of knowledge would test humanity's discernment more than ever before, for when enlightenment is accessible to all, deception becomes subtle. The prophecy suggests that the rise of technology marks not just progress, but the stage for the ultimate unveiling of human ambition disguised as peace. Daniel's prophecy concludes with a message directed not to kings or nations, but to those who seek understanding. He declares that in the final days, the wise shall understand, but none of the wicked shall understand. A statement that transforms the prophecy from a mere prediction into a spiritual test. This final warning implies that during the rise of global unity and deceptive peace, discernment will become the rarest virtue. The world will appear enlightened, its leaders promising security and prosperity, yet beneath the surface, moral foundations will erode and truth will be redefined. The test of discernment is not about intelligence, but about spiritual clarity, the ability to see beyond appearance and rhetoric. Those who rely solely on reason or emotion will be swept into the tide of global consensus, believing the illusion of progress as divine fulfillment. The prophecy suggests that only those who cultivate inner wisdom, guided by faith and intuition, will perceive the deception embedded in the grand vision of unity. Daniel portrays this time as one of unprecedented confusion, when right and wrong blur and the line between savior and deceiver fades. The wise will not be those with political power or scientific brilliance, but those who see with the eyes of the Spirit, discerning manipulation within peace and ambition within humility. This test of discernment is humanity's final challenge to choose between the comfort of illusion and the cost of truth. Daniel's vision reminds that in the last age, the greatest battle will not be fought with weapons, but with perception. For deception will come clothed in light, and many will mistake it for salvation. The prophecy's power lies in its timeless relevance, urging every generation to awaken, to question, and to discern the true nature of the forces shaping their world. In the end, the prophecy of Daniel stands not as a relic of the past, but as a mirror held up to the present. It speaks of power disguised as peace, knowledge mingled with deception, and a world yearning for unity while teetering on the edge of spiritual blindness. Through his visions, Daniel revealed more than empires and rulers. He revealed the condition of the human heart when faced with the promise of salvation through worldly means. The rise of intelligence, diplomacy, and global cooperation may appear as the pinnacle of human progress. Yet prophecy warns that even the brightest light can cast the deepest shadow. The true message is not to fear the unfolding of events, but to awaken, to see, to question, and to remain anchored in truth when illusion becomes universal. The wise will not be those who shout the loudest, but those who discern quietly, holding fast to what is eternal in an age obsessed with the temporary. May this understanding open your eyes to the deeper patterns shaping our time, and may it strengthen your spirit to recognize truth beyond appearance. History is repeating, prophecy is whispering, and awareness is the only shield against deception. Good luck on your journey of discovery, and thank you for listening. May wisdom guide your heart, clarity guard your mind, and truth light your path always.